Hope you are all are doing good. So last class I have started a new lesson. That lesson name is air, water and weather. So last class we have discussed about air, what is meant by air and atmosphere, also the properties of water and the properties of water. Also we have discussed about air pollution, then how we can resolve the air pollution. And this class we are going to discuss about water, like how air is very important in our life. Likewise the water also play very important role in the living things. Okay, for plants or animals and humans, whoever it is, without water we can't survive. Okay, because our body also it is complete most of based on the vegetables, fruits or human bodies, the major constituent we can able to see water. It will play very important vital role in our body. Okay, without water the blood also it won't get circulate. Even without water we can't able to prepare the food. Without water we can't do anything for the living things. So water it will play very important role in a living things life. Water is one of the most useful substance around us. We see water in pond, lake, river, ocean and seas. Water also present in the below surface of the earth. Okay. Even the bodies of plants and animals contain large amount of water. Even the earth also it is made up of 2/3 of water, right? 2% of land and 3% of water. It is like a completely covered with the water. Likewise, the human also will be having a major amount of water in our body. Okay. So whatever food we are taking, without water we can't do anything. And even whichever the excretory system or respiratory system or circulatory system, which are the system it want to involve in a function, so water it will play very important role. Okay, even the plants, if you are not pouring the water, it won't survive for a long time, right? Because water it will play important role in the transportation. Okay, from one place to another place through the water it will carry. Okay, so water will play in a very important role in the transportation from one place to another place. It will go on reach the particular things in our body. So here I have given few examples the how much of water it is present in our human body and the neem tree and tomato. The human body is made up of 70% of water. Likewise, we can see in a plant's example that I take example of neem tree. It is made up of 60% of water. And tomato, it is you can cut and see the tomato. If you mash it, you can able to see more fluids. It will come from the tomato. So it is 90% it is made up of water. So this water constituent it is vary from fruits or vegetables. Based on the fruits and vegetables, the water constituents also it will get vary. Okay. So here, for example, the human body has about 70% of water by weight. A neem tree has about 60% of water. Tomatoes contain as much as 90% of water. Thus, water is one of the basic constituent of all living things. For all the living things, plants, animals and humans, everyone need water for their survival features. Now we are going to see where we are getting the water. So it will come under category of sources of water. What is the main source of water? Where we are getting the water first? When it is rains. Okay, from the rain only we are getting a major source of water. Once the rain came, then we can able to find out the water in sea, ocean, river, lake, pond, etc. From these sources we are getting the water. The sea and ocean, whatever water it is very salty. Okay, why the ocean and sea waters are very salty? Because in sea at bottom level they will be having a more dissolved salt. Okay, that is the reason how much water it will enter into the sea, everything it convert as a salty water. It is not suitable for drinking purpose. Okay, so apart from the sea and ocean we will be having a river water, lake and pond, etc. From everywhere the main source we are getting from a rain. So rain is the main source of water. From there we can able to see the few rain water will go on mix in a sea and ocean, and few water it will be in a rivers, lake, pond, etc. Now also we can think for Himalayas and all will be there, no, or else which are the mountains will be in a very large peak. Okay, there you can see the peak of the areas, it is covered with the snow. Okay, the mountains, the peak area, it is covered with the snow when the sunlight is more. Okay, when the sunlight is more, what it will do, it will start melting. Okay, the snow it start melting as a stream and it will convert as a river. For example, now we can see from the Himachal we will be getting a Ganga river, right? So that it is connecting to the nearby all the cities. Okay, so those I can give the example of main source of water. So here you can see sources of water. The various sources of water in nature are seas, ocean, drains, river, lake, pond, etc. The ocean and sea cover more than 2/3 of the earth's surface. Okay, the earth's surface is covered with 2% of land and 3% of water. Due to the presence of many salt, their water is not fit for drinking. In a salt and ocean, as I mentioned, it is having a more dissolved amount of salt and mineral. So that is the reason, and the sea water and ocean water will be very salty in taste. So it is not fit for drinking process. And now with that, the higher parts of the mountain is covered with snow. And the higher part of the mountain is covered with the snow. When the summer season it will come. So when the summer season will come, so the snow it will be forming on the top of the mountains. So what it will do, once in the daytime obviously the sunlight will be there. So what it will do, due to the temperature, the snow it will start melting as a stream. From the stream it will form as a river. I gave example from the Himachal, the Ganga river is creating. Okay. And next one, rain is one of the main source of water on earth. Water cycle begins rain when fills the rivers, lakes, ponds and streams. Some of water into a soil, it is called underground water. We dig the wells and the tube wells to get this water. We also use hand pumps to draw the underground water. So as I mentioned, air is one of the major source of water. Once the rain falls, few rainwater will go on and mix into a sea and ocean. Okay. And so the normal surface the rain is falling in, so obviously the underground water surface it will get increased. Okay, when the rainfall is there, the underground water surface it will get increased. For example, when we want to construct a home, okay, we will do the borewell, right? Borewell means what? We can make a use of underground water. Okay, or else they will dig the well for the agriculture purpose, right? So we will be getting the underground water. So we will be doing an irrigation process and we can pour the water to the plants. Also the borewells, whatever we are doing in our home, right, like water purpose like bathing or cooking, washing clothes, whatever it is, water it will play a very important role in a human life. Okay, so we are putting a borewell means we are taking underground water and we are using for a various purpose. So due to the rainwater, the underground water it will get increased. Okay, and next topic, that is impurities in water. So normally if you are taking the rainwater, okay, so directly if you are taking water from the when the rain is falling, so that time you can keep some vessels. Okay, you will be getting a clean water. The same water, same rain it is falling on the ground. Okay, it is mixed with the soil and some other impurities also will be there. Okay, so that we are going to see impurities in water. Impurities in water. When rains on mountains and hills, the water flows down and carry with the many impurities. Sometimes water supplied to our homes may have impurities in it. So water we get may be impure. So whatever the water is, all the water we can consider as a impure. Okay, how? For example, when it is raining on a mountain or a hilly areas, okay, the rain falls, when the water will be flows down from the mountain or a hills, it will carry n number of impurities like a sand or a dust or small solid particles like a rock. So like that everything it will carry. Okay, so all the waters it will consider as a impurities. Whatever water we are getting for the home, even the underground water also having some impurities. Okay, everyone is drinking purified water, right? So this impurity water we got to go for a different types of the process to cleaning the water. Then it is suitable for drinking purpose. There are two types of impurities in water. One is a soluble impurities. Next one is a insoluble impurities. What is meant by soluble? This impurities it is dissolved in a water. We can't able to see in a naked eyes. Okay, that impurities. But it is contaminated water. But it is solid. It is mixed with the water. We can't able to separate it. For example, now germs, bacteria, fungi, virus, we can't able to see in our naked eyes, right? But also it will get mixed into the water. Those we can't able to see, that it is called as a soluble impurities. Okay. And next one is the insoluble impurities. What is meant by insoluble impurities? This impurities, it won't dissolve in the soil. We can able to see some dust particle it is floating on the water. Also some mud and small rocks it will be settling down at the bottom of the water. Seeing that we can identify it as a insoluble impurities. Insoluble means it won't dissolve in the water. That impurities we can able to see by naked eyes. For example, mud, stone or dry leaves. Okay, it will be floating on the surface of the water. The sand and stones it will be at the bottom of the water. So there are two types. One is soluble impurities and insoluble impurities. So here you can see impurities in water. When it rains on a mountain and the hills, the water flows down and carries with it many impurities. There are two types of impurities. One is soluble impurities and second one is the insoluble impurities. Next we are going to see what next topic is purification of water. How we can able to purify the water? There are three types, the three processes we have to follow to get the purified water. The first method is called as a sedimentation. The first method is a sedimentation and second method is a decantation and third method is a filtration. So here also you can see the images. Here they mention no, these two beakers containing the water. This two it is called as a sedimentation and this is called as a decantation. Now I am going to explain how the sedimentation process will be going on. For example, this is the muddy water. This is the muddy water I kept in a beaker, small glass beaker. Okay, you have to leave it for a few hours. You have to leave it for a few hours. After that you can see what are the dust particle like a sand or small rock or whatever it is, it will get settled down at the bottom. Okay, this is called as a sedimentation. Which are the dust particle, it is settling down at the bottom, it is called as a sedimentation. In upper layer we will be getting a clear water. We will be getting a clear water. So what we have to do? This gently, we are not, when we are taking this water, we are not supposed to disturb this sedimentation part because this all are dust and impurities it is present in the water. We are not supposed to disturb this layer. Only we have to take upper layer of water, that is a clean water. Gently we have to pour the water. Okay, whatever the sedimented above the clear water is there, we have to take and gently we have to pour in the sides of the glass rod. It is called as a glass rod. Why you are pouring at the sides? Why we can't able to put directly? When you are putting water directly, almost the sedimented particle, no, again it will get mixed up. Again it will become a muddy water. So that is the reason we have to use the glass rod. With the help of glass rod, whatever the decanted water is there, we have to pour gently. So it won't get disturbed here. Okay, it will be settling down on the top of the layer. So these two methods it is called as a sedimentation and gently pouring of upper layer of water it is called as a decantation. Okay, the same you can see in the textbook also. Sedimentation and decantation. Take some muddy water in a beaker, allow it to remain undisturbed for some time. Heavier mud particle will settle down at the bottom of the beaker. This mud layer it is called as a sediment. This mud layer it is called as a sediment. And this process in which insoluble impurities will settle down. Okay, it is called as a sedimentation. This is insoluble impurities, whatever it is there, it will be helpful to sediment at the down of the beaker. This method is called as a sedimentation. Next, when the mud settles down, clean water is left above layer of mud. The clean water is left above the layer of mud. This water poured very gently without disturbing the settled impurities. This we have to take it as a very gently. We are not supposed to disturb this sediment part. This process which the water is gently poured after sedimentation, it is called as a decantation. Okay. And next one we are going to see a filtration. Using what we can able to filter the using what material we can able to filter the water. For example, in your home they are making tea or coffee. They used to use a filter, right? Whatever the insoluble impurities will be, it will be settled down in the filter. After that, we will be throwing that waste in outside, right? Likewise, for water also we have to use a filter paper. The filter paper it will be like this, circle in shape. Okay. So first we have to fold it into a two halves. First half you have to fold and second half you have to fold. Then if you open one page, no, so it will become a cone shape. This is a filter. This cone shape filter paper you have to keep it inside the funnel. You have to keep it inside the funnel. The round circle paper you have to fold it in the first half. Then second half you have to fold it. And if you remove one paper over there, then you can able to find the cone shape here. This cone shape paper you have to keep it inside the funnel. Okay. So now we are going to see how the filtration process will be going on. For example, this is a funnel. This is the funnel. I kept the filter paper inside. Okay. So whatever the decanted water or muddy water it is there. So this is a muddy water in the beaker. We can see there is a muddy water. With the help of glass rod, we have to pour the water gently to the funnel. Okay. Once we are pouring the water into the funnel, whatever the dust particle will be there, no, it will get stuck over here. Whatever the dust particle is present in the muddy water, that it will get stuck over here. It is called as a residue. Okay. And once the pure clean water, it will be coming in a drop wise that we can collect in a one small beaker. Which are the using this method, whatever the clean water we are getting, it is called as a filtrate. The clean water we are collecting in the beaker, it is called as a filtrate. Okay. So whatever I talk about, the same it is there in the textbook also, children. Once you can read it. Okay. So place the funnel in the stand as shown in the figure. Now pour the muddy water into a filter paper cone fixed in a funnel by using glass rod as a guide. This is a glass rod. You have to pour gently towards the glass rod. The mud does not pass through the filter paper and remains behind on the filter paper. This process it is called as a residue. So here you can able to see there is a waste impurity that is settled down on the filter paper corner. Cone shape will be there. No, on the down shape you can collect the residue. This is called as a residue. We find that clean water comes out through the funnel drop by drop. The clean water it will be coming in a drop by drop that we can collect in a beaker. This clean water it is called as a filtrate. Clean water it is called as a filtrate. This process in which water cleaned by passing it through the filter paper, it is called as a filtration. So here the entire process of cleaning the water by filtration method. Next we'll move on for our next topic, that is getting drinking water at home. Getting drinking water at home. How we are getting the drinking water? So now at home we are getting a drinking water, right? Even drinking water also having a germs like a bacteria, virus and all will be there. So how we are getting drinking water at home? They even whatever the corporation water we are getting, right? So it will go for different types of like this process. Okay, then only we will be getting to our houses. Okay, we will be getting in a tap. And next one, cleaning of water. How we can clean the water? We should always drink clean and pure water. Following methods, that is, we can clean dirty water by boiling. Okay, once we boil the water, no, all the germs it will get killed. And next one, we can clean dirty water by using a water filter. So everyone will be having in her house water filter, right? By that, like UV radiant and all will be there. It will be helpful for killing the germs. And next, electrical water purified are the most commonly used for cleaning water. Okay, the water machines will be using like UV or like that and it will come. It will be helpful for kill the germs, so it will be suitable for drinking water. And next topic is water problem. How will be facing the water problem? Only in a summertime we will be facing the water problem, right? There is a lack of water. Sometimes we will be having a less rain. Due to that, we won't get the sufficient amount of water. So we are not supposed to cut down the trees. If we are cutting the trees, then the rainfall it will be very less. If the rainfall is very less, and we won't get sufficient amount of water. And next one, how we are going to save the water? See, water is very precious. We should not waste the water. Whatever the water we are using, avoid wasting so much of water. For example, whenever you are brushing your teeth and washing your hands, don't leave the tap open. Whenever you need, that time only you have to open the tap and you have to use it. For example, if you are taking one glass of water, you are not going to drink a complete glass of water, right? Maybe you are going to drink half of the glass of water. So take only half of the glass water and drink it. Okay, if you want more, then you can take little bit more. Again, you can drink it. If you are taking full glass of water, you are drinking only half of the glass, and half of the glass water will go waste. And next one. Whenever you are pouring water to the plants, right, we will be using the pipe. You are not supposed to use the pipe. We have to use a mug and jug. We can take the water and we can pour it to the plants. Also, whenever we are taking bath, right, we are not supposed to use the shower. We have to use bucket and mug. With the help of only we can take the water. In that also we can able to save some amount of water. Also, we should cleaning the utensils, whatever the washing vessels and all they will be doing in the kitchen, right? Tell your mother, don't open the water. Okay, once they wash all the vessels, little water they can use it, or else they can take the water in some bucket, then they can use it. Okay, ask your mother also take the water in one bucket, then she can wash the vessel one by one. Okay, and also whatever the repaired tap we have, okay, we have to make it repair. Why? Because of water leakage, it will be continuously, it will be happening. And next, how we can reuse the water. For example, if you are washing your hands, okay, so that same water you can use for a toilet purpose for the flushing. Okay, also whatever the clothes we have washed, right, so that water we can reuse for mopping the floor. Also, water used by washing hands can be used for flush the toilet, and washed vegetables, fruits, this water we can use for pouring water to the other plants. Okay, so now I have completed the second topic, that is the water. So you have to go through the video once or twice till you will get understand. Also you have to read the lesson, children. If you have any doubt, we will meet in an interactive session. Thank you.